that's floating, these memes. One of them is what's the one? I already told you the one about I'm gonna charge what I'm worth, or I'm gonna charge my value, or I'm gonna switch my clientele up. But you're not even understanding what's going on in the market for you to even justify such a price increase, or why you charging for your services like that. Then you get frustrated when don't nobody want to shop with you. Then you want to call everybody broke. Okay, we got to start looking at things from a numbers perspective. The data is telling you we don't have money like you think we got. It ain't there. And again, folks will always revert back. Well, they line up and buy Jordans. Well, do you have the brand equity of Jordan? Do you have the name recognition of Jordan? Do you have the same culture, the same values? Are they buying into a culture similar to Jordan when they buy your product? If the answer is no, then you can't use that comparison again. So that's why they buy. That's why they line up to buy Jordans. And until you craft a story and a culture around your brand like that, stop using that comparison. You only gonna rack your brains. You're only gonna go crazy. Stop. Learn how to market. Learn what marketing is. Get somebody on your team if you don't want to take that undertaking. Plenty of people we can point you in. We can send your way, right, to help you with this. But this is something you need to take serious. If you're going to have a business, you got to have marketing in your budget, point blank, period. You got to have a strategy involved. Okay? And branding is deeper than what you put on your packaging. You're creating a whole personality for your business. Your brand should speak for itself. When I look at it, or when somebody else evaluates it, that brand should be able to communicate something. It should be able to convey a message without saying anything. Okay. And on the flip side, the black consumers, we need to tone it down as far as how we spread negative information about black business. We know we got some issues. We know there's some things we need to work out, but we also got to understand. I just told you the number, right? 2.6% of the wealth. What does that say about black business? That means they lack the capital. They lack the resources to be highly competitive. That's because we've been plundered. We've been taken advantage of. Right? We need to understand that it's deeper than, we just hating on each other. We don't trust each other. We want to sabotage. Some of that may be true. Some of that may manifest. But for the most part, it's because we've been taken advantage of and we've been exploited since we've been here. And that money that belongs to us is in other companies' hands. It's in other people's hands. That same seed money that we need to pass down generation to generation has been taken from us through slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, predatory loans, mass incarceration, you name it. Every form of discrimination that's been enforced by the government, whether it be state or federal, we've endured it. We went through it. You understand what I'm saying? And as a consequence, you see these things manifest in every aspect of our lives. And until we sit down and do the politics, we're going to continue to have this volatile relationship. All of this has to do with the wealth gap. That's it. Black business is suffering because of the wealth gap. Black consumers are having a hard time with black businesses because of the wealth gap. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything else is simply a manifestation of that. Point blank, period. So we both need to tone it down with these unrealistic, skewed expectations of one another. Tone it down. You ain't got no money. Buying power ain't money. Black businesses understand brand equity. Understand that you're not these brands you're trying to compare yourself to. You're not there yet. These companies have millions of dollars in research and development, millions of dollars in marketing funds they can allocate to figure out how their consumers operate, how their consumers tick, and then by that, you're able to communicate more effectively. You don't have that. That's not to say you don't have the ability to craft a story behind your brand and get to know who your consumers are. But they do it on a much more massive scale. So to make that comparison is unfair to you and to your consumer. We got to stop doing that. Okay? And we also got to understand this country is built on inheritance. So even with the smaller white businesses, not even the Fortune 500 white businesses, right? Just white business in general. A lot of that has been passed down. And not only has the business been passed down, but also the equity, also the resources and the social capitals, the contacts, the networks, that's been passed down as well. We don't have that. Their companies a lot of times can operate in the red or operate in a negative because they have a security net that we don't have. They can operate in bad times. We don't have that same luxury. And that's not to say they don't have their struggles as well. But our struggles are exacerbated by the wealth gap. There's no comparison. Some of them may fall to the wayside, but that's because everybody can't make it in America. That's just raw probability. They ain't got nothing to do with social structures or social forces holding them back. We fail most of the time because of things in our way that shouldn't be in our way. You want to talk about generational wealth? Get in line. Get on these politics, get your reparations. That's your generational wealth. Where you starting a business, and only doing that is not going to bring you generational wealth. Like, again, we got anomalies. We got people who break through. So, yeah, every once in a while you have black businesses that could be passed down. But on the whole, as a majority, no. No, you need to get your politics in order to get these reparations. And then we can start talking. Okay? If you're a financial advisor, I know you may teach financial literacy, but you need to be also advocating for reparations as well. Think about the amount of people or the amount of customers you'll have once we get reparations. You should be coming up with a plan right now to help folks manage that money, because that's not a slush fund. That's not something we need to take and go blow it. We're not used to things. So that could be a disaster. But we still gonna get these reparations, and we still need them. So we need financial advisors already coming up with a plan to help black folks manage that money until the next generation. You need to be devising that plan. That's your job. So while you're teaching financial literacy, also come up with a plan to wisely invest that money and how to make that money work for us. That's why we need you on board. Entrepreneurs, get on board. Business owners, self-employed, get on board. Also, I want you to read the report by Antonio Moore, What We Get Wrong About Closing the Racial Wealth Gap, and read the section about entrepreneurship. It's very eye-opening. Gives you a lot of information about the struggles and the barriers that we face as black business owners. Read that report. Right? Capital is so necessary, and without that, it's difficult to compete. Okay? But yeah, man, just a couple of things I had in my mind. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the mind of Franco Elun. We always in the building. 2021. It's a new year. Beats, nostalgia, politics. That's what Sense 82 is all about. So be on the lookout for new content surrounding those three pillars. I'm out. Smell me.